Greetings and welcome back for a brief update to UK Saves the World. The in-game date is September 14th, 2039. After some very alarming moments that you can see a bit in the last brief update video, we've had our new airbase come online, which was able to extend our area of supply, our strong supply, out. This airbase is 208 miles from our former base that was down here, and we've pushed out our supply about another 150 miles. In addition to that, a few things have happened that have helped us out a lot. One thing that has changed on the Russian side is that they're now forcing their way down the peninsula here. They've gotten as close as actually attacking this city here, and I now have one stack of terror lamps down here and one stack of terror lamps here at the new airbase. So between both of them, we've been able to stem the tide. But what has helped us out is we've improved the uranium mines here. Now every available resource of uranium here has a mine on it, and we also got in 6 supply depots, which means we now have plenty of uranium, and we are selling a small amount on the world market. Not very much, but every now and then it's much better than buying it, being able to sell it every now and then. In addition to that, as you know by looking at the previous videos, the game speed was so slow, it was just so monotonous. I actually logged into Russia, and as we all know, the AI likes to set up what we call these stars of units in the city. Russia is really bad about it, particularly right here. For some reason, it wants to send all of its forces, maybe here, to one of these locations. I believe it's this one. And it wants to embark them on, for whatever reason, onto ships, but it never does. So what I did was I went into Russia and I reserved every one of the units are out here in the middle where there's absolutely no fighting going on. There doesn't plan on being any fighting, and I obviously am not going to be landing here because I just got rid of basically 25,000 Russian ground units. No, I scrapped them. Granted, they still have 465 land fabs, so they can get them back in a fairly quick, but we're not going to have 40 years worth of units cluttering up the map. And as a consequence of that, you can see how much quicker the game is running now. I can actually accomplish things. Of course, that means the Russian units are moving much faster also. But in addition to that, we've had some success with a few research. A lot of research has come online. It's helped out. You can see now that I'm making money again. I showed you this first capture of these old derricks here, but I've slowly making my way down the chain. You can see I've captured 5 more since that video, this here being the most recent one. It's in repair. What I do is I move the 3 subs up to 3 stacks of subs up in front of it, and then I rush in a complete stack, 7 each naval units, and at the same time I bring in 14 IDS tornadoes. Between the tornadoes and the Navy vessels, it takes them down in less than 10 seconds. Then I can get out of Dodge with the ships. Now the reason you only see 2 here right now is because 5 are in repair. Normally it's a total a stack of 7, and I'm just going to work these last 4 and come over here and try to get these. Now, I did not mess with the aircraft. I only scrapped Russian ground units. Ever since I started here, if you recall, there was a massive Soviet response here with aircraft, but these others, there haven't been any aircraft at all. Now, they have increased their patrols down here. My stealth bombers are almost constantly in repair, because anytime I get them out here, these are coming from here to attack the stealth bombers, and they seem to have some pretty good loiter time. They're also wearing out my terror lamps. Periodically, I have to send the terror lamps back to repair. But my plan now is, well, what I tried a little while ago, about 30 real-world minutes ago. So I saw this base out here, and I thought if I can take it, that was just another nail in the coffin of the supply coming into Russia, and it may afford me another air base where I could get in some deeper strikes. So I scouted it out, and there was a few scattered ground units over here. So I took 7 of the special forces. I put them in a 747, sent my 14 squadrons of terror lamps over here to clear the way, and I sent the 747 to land to drop these paratroopers, these special forces, on Bilibino, however that may be pronounced. They got about this far before they were destroyed by terror sahabs. I lost all 7 units and the aircraft. So now I'm just down to 1 special forces unit over here. Now, as far as some more good stuff, the research for the airborne laser completed, and I've just started production of 7 airborne lasers. Now this will help up here because they have much higher punch when they hit. You can see these things do 240 damage and 290 damage. Now the range is small, but they punch hard and they can loiter for a bit. They'll get 8 hits. So that's 300 times 8 basically for every sortie. The stealth bombers are doing good, but again, they're staying in the range of the Russian fighters. I don't like that. So we're going to see if we can do any damage with this airborne lasers. I've attempted 5 different times to set up excuse me, an airborne AWACS, for lack of a better term, to extend my visual range here. And every time I've done that, the Russians have come in and shot it down. Nothing I can do about that. I've also brought some of these ground forces in here. I don't remember what they're actually called. Let's see here. This advanced mobile recon unit, I had 5 of them over here, and I was moving them forward with my units here. And every time I put out a mobile radar, the Russians come in and destroy it. That's the only thing they attack. The AI is doing a good job, I will admit. The AI is really targeting the units that I would target also to help out. Now, what my current plan is I've researched thermobaric weapons. You can see here they're about 40% done. What I want to do is, it's suicide. This is just too close. This air base is entirely too close to the Russian mainland to try to bring bombers in and take it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get this thermobaric missiles that are sub-launched. You can see they do 275 damage to structures. Once I can get them, I'm going to send some subs in right down here close, and I'm going to do my best to take out this airbase. That may, once I get those missiles, now keep in mind I only have 6 missile fabs, and it takes forever and a day to build any missiles. But my goal is to slowly but surely try to systematically take out their infrastructure. Now you can see here they have an advanced radar station and 4 air defense units built. Again, that would be total suicide to try to come in here with aircraft. So I may try to use subs and pick them apart where I can. Any place there's an air base or a barracks, I'm going to try and take them out. Air base is #1 priority. Particularly here, if I can clear the channel, all these air bases here. Now, this will take many years, as you know, because I've only got 6 missile fabs. But my secondary goal is I'm actually considering, it's getting tedious to move units from the UK, because that's the only place I'm doing any production as far as units are concerned. the UK to over here. And I may build, I don't know, 14 fabrication facilities over here so that units can be built on station, on location. I do not have to ferry them in any longer. But I'm not going to give up. As I said, it's September 14th, 2039. It is slow and tedious. There's nothing else happening. I did manage to move another stack of subs down here because the Soviets had several ships down here and a couple aircraft carriers, and I was able to take them out. And I'm rotating subs as needed. I keep one sitting right here as a full supply. And every now and then the Soviets will send out, I know I keep saying Soviets, and this is the Russian Federation. Sorry, I'm old and spent my adult life staring down the Soviets. But at any rate, what we have here is every time they sortie anything from one of these ports, my substack takes them out. Now, I haven't messed with anything over here. Hopefully, as I said, they're not having aircraft sortie out to contest this, but they are sending surface ships out, and I've been able to take them out one at a time. I have toyed with the idea of coming up here and taking out this and getting me an air base here. I haven't reconned it. All of my recon units that I had available at the time were shot down over here. Doesn't matter where I put them, the Soviets shoot them down. I'm not exactly sure how they do that, but they're very good at it. That jet they're using, I'm sure they've probably gone beyond the Terra Sahab now. But at any rate, by looking at the score sheet, you can see that tech level, if you recall, when I started this grand campaign, I was at tech 111. I've now brought the UK up to 146. We've still got quite a ways to go, and I've only got 6 research facilities online. So it does take quite a long time. As I mentioned before, I had to move to DEFCON 3, and just recently I got down real low. I got down to only 48,000 left in my treasury. So I had to change the military salaries and maintenance down to the recommended. I also had to bump up a little bit. You can see here that I keep getting these responses that they're saying domestic prices are too high. And that's just the way it is on petroleum. It's been that way for several years now. But I was able to lower the game. I had not messed with any of these social spending settings with the exception of infrastructure and I believe education since the game started, but now I've set them all at recommended with the exception of social assistance. I bumped it up some, but I didn't set it at recommended. So you can see our daily deficit is 1692, but I show up here positive because we're able to sell. Consumer goods is our number one seller. I make anywhere from 900 million to 1200 million every day on consumer goods, followed by electric and fresh water. Everything else is just minor. It doesn't really matter that much, but it all adds up in the end to give me a positive. I've been able to gain roughly 120,000, as you can see. Now, as a consequence of me fiddling with things, my GDP is going up again, which I do not like, but I can live with it for now, as long as I'm making money. This is, I know I said this was a short update, but that's it for now.